Why is it that the state of Tamil Nadu, has always led this movement, which can be called anti-Hindi movement?
Tamil Nadu's opposition to national education policy is on multiple grounds. The first ground is that they fear that it may lead to dominance of Hindi. Now, even though the new national education policy, nowhere it mentions that Hindi will be used as part of the three-language formula, but many of the people from South India or Tamil Nadu sees that it will be a backdoor entry to Hindi usage.
Government is also trying to promote not only Hindi but all the 22 scheduled languages. That is the stance of the central government, where again we have diversity in the country. So why not to cherish that diversity in terms of language learning as well, right, in the schools?
That if we free the students from language learning, maybe that time could be spent on learning, say, vocational learning or anything related to technology. So these are the implementation challenges that I can think of.
The broad idea, of course, should always be child development. That is what the new education policy 2020 all about. So we should forget every politico-cultural issues and we should leave everything behind and focus on child development, which is the prime focus of new education policy.
Hello and welcome to the Perspectives by VisionIAS, in which we offer in-depth analysis of important issues relating to India and the world. With so many languages, numerous ethnicities, and multiple religions, India can be truly called synonymous with the term diversity. Now, has this diversity or multiculturalism of India remained unchallenged? Well, the answer is certainly no. The recent challenge is related to the language of Hindi. Now, what happened? The state government of Tamil Nadu, along with some other non-Hindi speaking states, has strongly opposed a single provision in the National Education Policy 2020. The provision is that of the three-language formula. In another related issue, while presenting the state budget, Tamil Nadu government replaced the traditional rupee symbol, which is the Devanagari Ra, with the Tamil equivalent. Now, these issues are not just related to language. They actually affect several aspects of governance, starting from cultural identity to education. To explore the same, today we have with us two senior experts who are going to shed light upon the gravity of the issue and other related aspects. So let's start the conversation. Welcome Paritosh Sir and Prateek Sir.
Thank you, Chiranjeet Sir.
So let's begin this conversation with the simple question: what exactly happened? Such issues have remained latent in the past. Now, what triggered this new controversy, as a result of which this reaction has come from the Tamil Nadu government?
So to understand this whole concept, we need to first know what exactly is the three-language formula. So three-language formula is not something new. It was there back then with the new education policy of 1968. In fact, back then, Hindi was made compulsory as one of the three languages in the three-language formula. In fact, the new education policy of 2020 has given a flexibility that again, it is not compulsory that you need to choose Hindi as one of the three languages in the three-language formula. Now, education is a concurrent subject, which was moved from state list to concurrent list with the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, wherein both union as well as the state can make laws. So based on that, Tamil Nadu government have been going with the two-language formula, where again they have been using English and Tamil as the two languages for a medium of instruction in schools, right? So that is one of the issue. Followed by recently, there is a scheme of government, which is centrally sponsored scheme, Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, wherein, of course, in centrally sponsored schemes, 60% of the funds comes from the center. So strangely, center has stopped that 60% fund now. And the reason they have given is that Tamil Nadu is not, maybe have not implemented three-language formula. And just because they have not implemented that, till the time they don't implement it, the funds won't get released. So that is why the debate has sparked upon. Followed by our Union Home Minister has told that Hindi should be used as a preferable medium of communication, which again has maybe sparked again a controversy or a debate that how maybe one language can be made as a compulsory medium or a preferable medium of communication across a nation, where again, as you slightly pointed out, we have diversity in terms of language as well in our country. Now, maybe one other point which you pointed out was the use of Ra or the Devanagari script in the rupee. So yes, the Ra symbol have been picked up from the Devanagari script, which again preferably is a script from Hindi as a language, which again has maybe debated upon a topic that again, this again showcases how maybe we are giving preference to Hindi over other languages. And as rightly pointed out, Tamil Nadu government recently in the union budget have replaced that whole symbol. So these are the few issues why again this three language issue, and again the whole language issue is back in news.
Thank you, sir. Now, Prateek sir, why is it that the state of Tamil Nadu, has always led this movement, which can be called anti-Hindi movement? Is there any particular history associated with that?
So Tamil Nadu's opposition to Hindi is not new. In fact, it dates back to pre-independence time. So before India was independent, English was used as a language for communication across the country. So the nationalist leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Patel and Nehru wanted Hindi to replace English as the medium of communication. So when in 1937 the government formed in Madras, right? So they wanted to impose Hindi as a compulsory language in the schools. So this led to a lot of protest, and as a result of that, in 1940, this decision to impose Hindi as a language in Tamil Nadu or the Madras Presidency was revoked. Also in 1965, when the duration of usage of English along with Hindi was to expire, then also we saw that there was a lot of protest happening. In fact, in that protest, more than 70 people died. Now here we can summarize two key reasons why Tamil Nadu has opposition towards Hindi. So first reason is they fear that it may lead to threatening of Tamil as a language, which has a huge history, right? And a lot of scripts have been written in Tamil language. Secondly, it also places the non-Hindi speakers at a disadvantage, especially when it comes to government exams or education. Now, this has prompted the center to revise the official language policy or Act of 1963, whereby they have made it compulsory that English is to be continued along with Hindi indefinitely as an official language, right? So in 1968, the state of Tamil Nadu made two-language formula as their part of policy. And from that time, you can see that Tamil Nadu has vehemently opposed any imposition of Hindi language.
Thank you, sir. Now, Paritosh sir, as sir explained the history, the reason behind Tamil Nadu's continuous antipathy towards Hindi, let's address the elephant in the room now, which is the National Education Policy 2020. Now, what are the provisions, especially those provisions which Tamil Nadu is against or similar states are against?
So very rightly pointed out, again, we need to first exactly know what exactly is new education policy, right? So as I said earlier as well, that education initially was a state subject, which was made to a concurrent subject. And again, the idea behind it was that in terms of education as a policy, there has to be a nationalized approach to see it, wherein the new education policy has brought about a few changes, right? And again, we'll stick to the idea of language over here, right? So the new education policy currently with the three-language formula talks about that there has to be one language, that is English, and there has to be two native languages. So again, I would like to re-emphasize this point. There is no word use of Hindi as a compulsory thing. So again, to the viewers, Hindi is not compulsory in the three-language formula which the new education 2020 talks about. And the two native languages, again, what is the idea of using native languages first of all? That again, that mother tongue is a concept where again, students have greater cognitive skills when again something is being taught to them in their native languages. So that again, new education policy has catered into account. And the three-language formula, wherein the two native languages, the choice has been given that whatever language a student is comfortable with, that he or she should go for, right? So that is basically the idea of new education policy as far as the three-language formula is being concerned upon.
Now, sir, as Paritosh sir has nicely listed down the provisions of national education policy, which Tamil Nadu is totally against. So, could you please shed some light upon that?
Tamil Nadu's opposition to national education policy is on multiple grounds. The first ground is that they fear that it may lead to dominance of Hindi. Now, even though the new national education policy, nowhere it mentions that Hindi will be used as part of the three-language formula, but many of the people from South India or Tamil Nadu sees that it will be a backdoor entry to Hindi usage. Why? Because of center's preference towards that language and also because of cultural domination of Hindi. Secondly, the two-language formula of Tamil Nadu has been relatively successful. If you look at the education data with regard to gross enrollment ratio or the dropout rates, Tamil Nadu is among the forefront of the leaders, right? So again, this is basically at advantage. And also when it comes to English, Tamil Nadu also sees that the language is definitely putting it at advantage when it comes to various job opportunities, both nationally and internationally. Thirdly, there is also federal matter involved. So when it comes to education, as mentioned by Paritosh Sir also, education is part of concurrent list, which means that both center and state can legislate on that matter. But Tamil Nadu wants that center should intervene less in the matters where state can make laws as per their own conditions and as per their own preferences. So they want more autonomy here as well.
Okay, that's right. That seems logical. Now, sir, this debate seems one-sided so far because we have heard so much coming from the Tamil Nadu government. What has been the centre stance? And would like to know from you, if Tamil Nadu feels that Hindi is being imposed, are there any constitutional or legal provisions which makes it mandatory on the part of the centre to impose or to administer the use of Hindi?
So very rightly pointed out, sir, it is very important first exactly to know what does the rule book of the constitution says about all of these issues. So under the constitution, under article 343, it says that Hindi is the official language of the union, right? The word here is union. There is nowhere mentioned that states need to have Hindi as their official languages. And again, there has been flexibility which has been given to states under article 345 that again states can choose whatever official language they want to choose. Then there comes article 351 of the constitution, which obligates the union that Hindi should be promoted, right? So the new education policy earlier again reflected back on these principles that again it made Hindi as a compulsory thing. But as the new education policy 2020 was an updated version of it, where again we try to accommodate all such nuances which were there pertaining to the older education policy. And the new education policy gave a scope of flexibility in terms of choosing the three languages, where English is made compulsory. That is one thing, which is why, because employment and everything going by the globalization impact, right? So English is made a compulsory language, followed by there is two native languages. So there is nowhere mentioned that Hindi is going to be a compulsory thing. States have autonomy. Maybe Tamil Nadu has an autonomy to choose maybe Kannada, Tamil as a combination of two native languages. So there is nowhere mention of Hindi as a use of third language in the new education policy of 2020, right? Then maybe government is also trying to promote not only Hindi, but all the 22 scheduled languages. That is the stance of the central government, where again we have diversity in the country. So why not to cherish the diversity in terms of language learning as well, right, in the schools. Now thirdly, there is a scheme of government, PM Shri. Under this scheme, government is trying to make 14,500 model schools, wherein they will be the model ones to showcase how new education policy of 2020 has been implemented. Then there comes the whole idea of in the job market. 44% of the people in India speak Hindi, right? So of course, maybe the better you speak Hindi, the more chances you have in the job market. And again, language is something which traditionally maybe many of us has learned. You go back to Indian Army, a Tamil soldier initially who had his languages in English and Tamil is very flexible and maybe has learned Hindi so fluently and again very greatly speaking maybe Hindi in the army, right? So again, that is a choice which has to be made. But as far as center's stance is being concerned, it is again going by the idea of the constitution which have been mentioned in article 351 of the constitution.
Now, sir, coming to the implementational challenges of this three-language formula, although we know that there is a lot of flexibility as compared to what the National Education Policy in 1968 sought to achieve, and take into consideration the fact how much close one is to his or her mother tongue. how difficult or easy is it going to implement the policy?
So apart from various ideological reasons, we also have various implementation challenges when it comes to national education policy. Firstly, there is shortage of teachers. So in various states, we see that there is inadequate number of language teachers. Secondly, there is also problem of infrastructure. So when it comes to implementation of new national education policy, it will lead to a lot of teacher training. It will lead to overhauling of the syllabus. It will also need to restructure the textbook. All of this would require a huge funding. Thirdly, it will also put a lot of additional burden on the students. According to ASER report, it has been observed that even students from class 5 are not able to read and understand textbook meant for class 2 students. So again, if we put additional burden on the students, they will not be able to cope up with that. Fourthly, there is also an element of opportunity cost involved, in the sense that if we free the students from language learning, maybe that time could be spent on learning, say, vocational learning or anything related to technology. So these are the implementation challenges that I can think of.
So Paritosh Sir, after having discussed the implementational challenges, would like to know from you how to strike a balance between this idea of promoting Hindi as one unifying language and other regional languages. For example, every state, like if we just draw this, follow this line of Tropic of Cancer, there are many states in the Deccan and the southern India where different languages are spoken. So how to strike a balance between this Hindi as a unifying language and the regional variations?
Rightly pointed, that is the need of the hour as of now, right? We need to go beyond this. We need to think about students. At the end of the day, new education policy is something which is going to reap the benefit of demographic dividend, which India has an edge upon, right? So maybe the first very important thing is ki the fund which have been stopped by the center for the Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan, that has to be reconsidered by the center, so that again the whole noble cause of the scheme should not get overshadowed over these issues. And again, there has to be a center state consensus which has to be brought in, and they have to sit on a table and again maybe discuss that what would be a possible solution. As pointed out earlier as well, that Hindi is not going to be made a compulsory thing, right? Students should be asked that what do they want, right? So maybe I guess a voluntary multilingualism, that is a need of the hour, right? Followed by center state consensus building, right? And overall, the broad idea, of course, should always be child development. That is what the new education policy 2020 all about. So we should forget every politico-cultural issues and we should leave everything behind and focus on child development, which is the prime focus of new education policy. That is one of the way forwards which I think, or again, we all should feel that has to be done to make it a balance.
Thank you so much, sir. I think we have reached the conclusion of this conversation. Now, dear viewers, we'd like to end this conversation, this particular episode, with one single question which you can ponder upon till we meet again. And the question is, do you think there should be one single unifying law that should come from the center, or there should be state-specific laws taking into consideration the local needs? Thank you and have a good day.